And welcome to the Forward Masterclass Coding Smart Contracts. Just as a little intro, I'll start by explaining a high level overview or giving a high level overview of Solidity and how you can use it to build your smart contracts. So, now that you have a business idea and we've provided some feedback, you need to create a smart contract to execute your idea. This smart contract could be self-coded from scratch. It could also be found online, or you could even build on top of existing ERC standards. So, what is Solidity? Solidity is a high-level computer language that is statically typed and used to write smart contracts on EVM blockchains. It is to make it possible for people to deploy decentralized apps, dApps, by setting the rules and logics of how people on the EVM networks interact with it. Solidity was based on a few influential existing programming languages during the development, such as C++, Python, and JavaScript. So if you know these languages, picking up Solidity will be much easier for you. Solidity is also the most popular smart contract language in the blockchain industry at the moment. So, how does Solidity work? So Solidity is a computer language with rigid types that turns it into bytecodes that runs on the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine. It enables developers to define the behavior of smart contracts through functions, data structures, and control flow statements. Solidity also supports public and private functions, implements standards and code logics through libraries and interfaces. It also ensures immutability of the smart contracts once they are deployed, and it manages gas costs to determine the computational resources required for contract execution. So a little bit more in detail about Solidity. Solidity has private and public functions. So Solidity allows functions to be declared either publicly or privately. External accounts and contracts can access and invoke public functions, while private functions are only accessible within the smart contract itself. The access control mechanism ensures the encapsulation of contract logic and provides security by restricting access to sensitive operations. Immutability. Solidity enforces immutability for deployed smart contracts. Once a contract is deployed, its code and state cannot be altered. This ensures the integrity and predictability of the contract's behavior, providing trust and transparency to all participants in interacting with a contract on the blockchain. Then we also have the gas costs. Solidity introduced the concept of gas to manage the computational resources required to execute these smart contracts. Gas is a unit that represents the cost of performing operations such as storage, computation, and communication on the Ethereum network. Solidity provides mechanisms to estimate and control gas costs, allowing developers to optimize contract efficiency and manage transaction fees associated with contract execution. Regarding standards and code logic within Solidity, Solidity supports the implementation of code logic and standards through libraries and interfaces. Libraries allow reusable code to be shared across multiple contracts, reducing code duplication and enhancing code organization. Interfaces define a standard set of functions that other contracts can adhere to, promoting interoperability and ensuring consistent behavior among different contracts. Be asking, what are Solidity ERC standards? So underlying the design of Solidity smart contracts are ERC standards, a Ethereum request for comment, which are guidelines made to improve and standardize the implementations of different types of Ethereum tokens. ERC standards are proposed by EIPs, which means Ethereum improvement proposals. Once ERC standards are approved and finalized, they become a standard for writing Solidity contracts. This allows a common Solidity interface template for building these smart contracts. When Solidity developers build tokens adhering to existing ERC standards, They know their tokens will behave appropriately on the blockchain. Some of the most widely used ERC standards are the ERC20 token, which is a fungible token standard, which most of you will know as the normal tokens that are coming out, such as the meme tokens, or some government's tokens are also linked to the ERC20 token standard. Then there's also the ERC721, which is the non-fungible token standard, and those are used to build NFT projects. There is also the ERC 1155 standard, which is a semi-fungible token standard. Other people might also call this the multi-token standard. And as an additional one, I've also included the ERC 4626, which is a yield-bearing vault standard. So, as you might know, the EVM-compatible blockchain landscape is quite broad, with many new changes being launched daily, even, I would say. And at the moment, most of the reputable chains are chains like Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, the BNB chain, Arbitrum, Optimism, Avalanche, Manta, and Tyco, and actually many more being deployed and launched. Next, I will show a little bit about the references within Solidity language. So if you go to their main page, you will see them explaining a little bit more about Solidity and what it is. I'll just also open the docs to show you quickly how that looks. Currently, Solidity is on version 0.8.25 with updates being launched quite a lot. They still haven't got to a version 1 yet, but it is stable at the moment. So as you can see, Solidity is also evolving. You can also contribute if you would like. And then if you move a little bit down on their page, you'll see they also have a little playground here where you can choose one of these 3 different smart contracts that they have added here. And then on the right-hand side, you will actually be able to see what compiler version was used to compile this, the deployment costs and how much that was in gas fees. And then it also shows you a little bit about the bytecode and the assembly opcodes that was used to actually for this smart contract. So next, I will just go a little bit about the documentation. Just please, while coding in Solidity, this is a great resource to use to actually come to the Solidity documentation and actually read a bit more in depth of how it works for if you have any problems while coding your smart contract. This is a very valuable resource, which is very good to be used while building your smart contracts. Next, I will show you a little bit of how the ERC standards look and the Ethereum improvement proposals. As you can see here are all the previously approved ERC standards, which you could also come and take a look at to see if you would like to use any of these to build upon and improve your smart contract. And as you can see right at the top here, the first token standard is the ERC20 standard. So I hope this explained to you a little bit more about Solidity and just got you a little bit excited of building within Solidity and coding your smart contract. Thank you for listening.